YouTube. I think we're there. All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is December 26th, 2024. We're getting ready to kick off 2025 here very shortly. Today's conversation, I am going to be talking a little bit about, get my notes over here. Okay, nothing on that page. We're talking about the final vision, kind of collapsing everything together so that they make sense. And this is where the work starts, right? Because this idea of learning, which listen, I'm the poster child. I'm the poster child for information and learning and putting things into effect and learning more and putting more things into effect and adding. Yeah. So today's conversation is about taking a moment to pause and reflect on what we've already covered. Okay. And in doing so, what we find out is how fast, even though we've spent 14, 16, 17 hours together on this topic, how fast the old patterns still sneak back in. Does that make sense? How fast the old patterns still sneak back in. And we have to become fully aware of that. We have to fall in love with that. And because if we don't, the version of us that we're going to be becoming, we're stepping into, isn't going to be welcomed. How many of us, okay, so here's the image that just came to me. How many of you were ever invited to somebody's house and you sat in a chair only to find out it was somebody's favorite chair that you sat in? You know what I'm talking about? And that's the image I just got, is that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, please forgive me. No, it was no problem. And maybe you find out while you're at the event. Maybe you don't find out till weeks later. How do you feel weeks later when you find out you sat in grandpa's favorite chair and all he's been complaining the whole time, right? Can you imagine? Think of it this way. You're about to go sit in your old story's favorite chair. Bonus. You're about to go sit in your old story's favorite chair, and you're going to feel embarrassed that you took their spot. Follow me? Y'all ever work someplace long enough that everybody had their own parking spot, but nobody was assigned? You ever go to an event? It's called herd mentality, ladies and gentlemen. You ever go to an event and the event's a 3-day event and you sit in pretty much the same chair for all 3 days? Because your body doesn't want to have to think about moving. Do you realize that's neuroencoding? Your body doesn't want to have to think about moving away. Or if the first time you sat down, you were next to some cuckoo for Cocoa Puff people who were pretty much like you, but you didn't want to see that. And you wound up saying, I'm not sitting in that section again. Do you realize what you're about to have? Who's about to take control? Who's about to step up to the microphone? Who's about to step up to the helm of the ship and run this baby? It should make you go, oh, wow. How many of you want to start a new tradition for you? Today be a good day to start it. How many of you would like to, what would be the new tradition you would want to start? I'm just saying, when you start to activate these parts of your brain, you can feel them in your body. Is that making sense? So session 4 or session actually, what session number are we on? Somebody type it in the chat. I'm not sure what number we're on. Is it 15? I forget. It's December 26th, so we'll just go with there. I think 16. Okay, cool. 16. I thought we did 2 warm-up sessions, so that would today is actually number 14 with plus 2. Anyway, so 16. So I want you to just reflect for just a second. Think about back when we started this series, some 16 days ago. Back to session 1. What was the first question we asked? Who do we need to become to achieve the goals to live the life we envision? Right? We reset our identity and clarified our vision. How much more have you chipped away? Become very aware. What's something you know is a non-negotiable you will not participate in again? Anybody have a clarity in that? Anybody have a list of the non-negotiables? I can tell you, if you don't, you're subject to step into them again. What are some of the things that you know just will not serve you going forward? Write them down now. If you don't have them, write them down. There is no test at the end of this. The test is every second of every moment. There is no test you need to pass. There's a decision you need to make, and then you need to go to work. But the test has already been given, and you have to decide whether you passed or failed it up to this point. And yes, you can say, well, I don't fail. I learn lessons. Great. How's that working for you? You've either passed or failed up to this point. Now you can go choose lessons if you have your definite major purpose in place. Part of what you're going to see going forward from me are these challenges and these workshops that I'm going to be doing every month. Now, for those of you who are part of the mastermind, don't worry about, well, how much is that going to cost? That's already included. So you went back to session 1. Who do you need to become to live the life you envision? See, there's the little chink in the armor. In order for you to live the life you want, you have to live the life you're envisioning. You've got to become that person with a new vision. You've got to do 2 huge things in your life. You've got to have better clarity, better visualization. You're going to have to spend time. You know, when they have, do you remember, well, I remember when I had my first speeding ticket way back when, the horse got away from me and it really went fast. When I had my first speeding ticket, I had to go to driver school. Anybody ever know somebody who's been to driver school? Well, they do these things. They flash up these images and they say, so what did you see? And what you find is that the image is actually a turned over car and there's smoke coming out of it and it's wrapped around a tree. But when they go shoot, shoot, and they just show it to you, like, you don't know what you're looking at. Does that make sense? If you see it so fast, you don't know what you're looking at, and your brain wants to make assumptions. So do you realize that your brain is trying to make assumptions on your goal? Because you may not have emotionalized it. Yeah. Okay, good. We're going to go after our $100,000, our $200,000, our $1 million in volume. We're going to go. Yeah. Okay, good. The body's going, yeah, sure. Absolutely. You got my support. How many of you, one of your goals is to not hit the snooze button ever again? Wait, what? You mean I can't hit the snooze button? What? Listen, it's about the fundamentals. It's about the foundation that you're setting right now. So who's the identity you choose to take? Do they drink sodas, soft drinks anymore? I don't know. You have to decide whether that's good for you or not. Do you drink a pot of coffee every day, or do you just have one or two? Do you switch from powdered stevia to liquid stevia? I was told that liquid's better for you. So I listened to the people who were smarter than me. Do you do your best to go to bed at night every time? Do you have a ritual to go to sleep? Do you still scroll before you go to sleep, knowing that that fully activates your brain? If you realize that whatever the last hour is that you spend focusing your brain on, that's what your subconscious mind goes to work on. Because if you're not giving it direction, if you're not saying, hey, listen, like Napoleon Hill, listen, subconscious, sometimes I've taken advantage of you and sometimes you've got me, the better of me. But right now I need a title to this book and use your noodle to get the boodle. It isn't going to work. And about 2:30 in the morning, he comes to an intense consciousness and it's Think and Grow Rich. It's important that you begin to have dialogue. You speak, they listen. It listens, it speaks, you listen. You have some of the greatest secrets just silently speaking to you right now in this moment. Right now in this moment. How many of you have had a little aha already? Drop a one in the chat. You've had a little going, okay. Absolutely. All I can tell you is this is what your life is meant to be, is a whole bunch of ahas, moment after moment after moment, in you accessing, moving down the gravel road to your super highway of freedom.
Bonus.
And this is what it takes. It takes this kind of, it takes some confrontation. So who is the new identity? Who is the new identity? How are you shifting right now into this new identity? Now, the next thing we did is we started to dig into your emotional drivers. We dug into your why to try to find the deep emotional anchors to it. You know that the buoys you see out in the ocean or in the intercoastal waterways, if you've ever been on a boat and they're coming into port and you see these buoys, red and green, those are anchored to the ground. You see them on the top, but there is a chain and a heavy weight that's got them anchored to the ground. You can't really go move those. You have to have a pretty massive device to lift that weight off the floor. Now, there's one of two ways to move this buoy. One, lift the weight. What's the other way? Blink, cut the chain. Some of you are trying to move your buoys, move your anchors, trying to keep your anchor alive, trying to keep that resistance in your body because it fills up a space in your body. You're going to have to make a decision. Can I smelt that down? Can I refabricate that belief, that story, that idea? Chances are it's got some pretty non-negotiable formulas that are in it. It's what got you here. The challenge is everything that got you here can't get you out of here. Period. End of statement. How many of you have been in a car for the last time, a car at all in the last 48 hours? Do you realize the gas that got you to your destination can never be used to get you out of your destination? It's that simple. I want you to really wrap your brain around that. The fuel you use to get to your destination is gone. That fuel that you used is not available to get you out of the destination you're in. In reality, it's called out of gas. The challenge with your dreams, the challenge with your wants, your visions, your missions, your definite major purposes is that you're trying to use old gas, non-existing fuel, non-existing awareness to step into this new version of you.
Bonus.
You've got to use new gas. You've got to use new fuel. You got to use new awareness. You got to talk to new people. You've got to be non-apologetic for your future. Excuse me, is that seat taken? It's got your name on it, lady. Oh, well, I'm in row 7B3, right? There's new fuel, new energy, new ideas, new concepts. And people are going to be asking you, why aren't you using your old gas? You know why? Because they're using their old gas. And they're stuck. And they say, are you out of your mind? You can't go get fuel. Where are you going to get fuel from? You're not getting your fuel from me? You're going to have to look at the 5 people you hang around now. And it used to be the 5 people you hung around. There's a new little one of those videos that scrolls and shows where we spend our time since 1938. And it's like family, school, society. Up until the 70s, up until the 80s, family was 28%, 20%. It was the largest portion, family. And then we got into friends, and then coworkers started to slide up the list. Coworkers outpaced family, the time we spend with family. And then in the 90s, when social media came around, or the internet, ooh, excuse me, means it's true. It's a Bobism. All of a sudden, the internet went to 60%. We spend more time on the internet than with coworkers, with family, with blah, 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 blah. Thank you. You got to check the people you hang around with. So now we dug into your emotional wise. So how does that help you overcome your limiting beliefs? What limiting beliefs have you shed? I'm asking you. You don't have to say it out loud, but I'm asking you, what limiting beliefs? And you're like, well, I don't know. I'm thinking about, not a good answer. If you're 2025 is here, for all intents and purposes, it's here. It started. It's right now. Don't wait on the calendar. What limiting beliefs have you shed? What's your new resilience formula? And yeah, some of you are probably going, oh, what? God, why is he like yelling at us? No, you got to ask, who's hearing me yelling? It ain't me yelling. You got to ask, why are you feeling uncomfortable? Now, pay attention. All that you're going through right now, every bit that you're going through right now, every single bit that you're going through right now, at some form, at some level, and probably 10 times more than what you're experiencing right now, is exactly what your team is going to go through. Whoa, why? Why is it 10 times more? Because they haven't done 10 times the work you have. So it is critical that you write down these feelings, because they are going to experience them. And you can't shove them to the side. You can't say, well, don't worry about it. Just keep going. No, these are real emotions that people are experiencing. You're asking them to switch their identity almost in an instant. You're asking them to say, the only way they're going to make it through is if they have faith in you. And you're going to have to let some people get around your fire. Now you can't carry them. Jim Rohn said you can't carry them. You can carry one, maybe two people. My mentor said to me 20 years ago, you're allowed to take care of one, you're allowed to have one quote unquote charity case a year where you get to baby them and take care of them. Here's the catch. You only get to have one charity case a year. You've had about 50 so far. So you're about you you have to wait about another 48 years before you can take on a charity case. You can't give them more than they're willing to take for themselves. Oh, they'll use your stuff. They're not taking it. That's why we feel like we get let down when they disengage, when they stop doing. You're going to have to become very good at questions, and only a handful of questions. Only a handful to start with. You'll learn to allow yourself to use questions as the laser tool to uncover somebody's mission, vision, passion. When somebody asks you for help, say, what's the result of this help? What's the result of this interaction? We're like, oh, somebody asked me for help. I get to be busy. Not a good answer. Can you help me? I'd love to help you. It's one of the highest priorities in my life. How can I be of service? Well, I want to do this, this, and this. Great. What's the result of that? This, and this. What do you think are two ways for you to get started in that? Well, I could do this or I could do that. Great. Which would you like to start first? Well, I'll do this one first. Great. Go do that and come back and check in with me. I can't tell you anything because the second I tell you something, guess what you get to do? Going, I tried what you told me, it didn't work. Anybody ever have anybody tell you that? I tried what you said, it didn't work. That's not a good formula. Because it worked. It works for you. And people who say the next time you say, if I did it, you could do it. Not a good thing. Hey, listen, if the opportunity is available for me, I'm pretty sure it's available for you. That's a different phrase. Are you looking for the opportunity? Because it was available for me. I know it's available for you. Are you looking? But this thing that if I could do it, you could do it. No, you can't. You weren't broke as I was, or you weren't as hurt as I was hurt. You were never the same as me. So if I could do it, you could do it is such a lie. If the opportunity is still available, would you like to investigate it? Now the onus, the responsibility is on them. And so now the big part is, do you realize if you take care of you, if you emotionalize your why, and each day you have your non-negotiables of what you won't do, that is no longer a part of my life, and this is always a part of my life. So they're non-negotiables in both ways, the things to stop doing, right? Brian Tracy said this. You all can write this down. There's only 4 things you can do. Brian Tracy said, you can stop doing something. You can start doing something. You can do more of something, or you can do less of something. Those are the only 4 things you can do. Start, stop, more or less. That's it. That's it. That's it. And you've got to ask with every action you're about to go take, which one of those 4? Is this a more or is this a less? And when you have your definite major purpose in place, your vision, this is going to get me, is this going to get me to 5 million? Is this going to get me to 200,000? Is this going to get me my visa? all of a sudden you have to connect threads that have never been connected before. Your brain is going to hurt for a little bit when you ask, does this get me my goal? Or does this make me feel good for now? I walk around now. This is kind of what I walk around with. I feel like I'm a priest walking around with my Bibles. So this is my quote journal. This is the thing that I'll open this up when I'm just stuck. Is your company the food stamp model of network marketing industry? Ooh, snap. Are people going broke very slowly using your business model? That's the food stamp model. The greatest predictor of success is not IQ or the college they attend. I have found it is who we are connected to and how much they trust us. And this is the key, the sense of community we share. That's in this journal. This is only gets quotes. This journal only gets quotes. Your mess becomes your message only when you move into mastery. Anything else is just a mess. So I carry that with me. Then I have my journal. This is my daily journal. All right. I carry Think and Grow Rich. Right. These are the little tabs of different times I'm reading it in different sessions. I think I'm on the third or fourth one of just reading this since 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe. And then my day planner. What are you carrying with you? What's your new non-negotiable? What's the new identity? The identity I have chosen is that I will teach through quotes and I will challenge through quotes and I will inspire through quotes. A quote is an entire teaching. It's an entire lesson. But it forces me to get down into the granular of understanding language. And that's my ability. And that's a skill I've developed. So who are you becoming? What are you going to be known for? What's the word they're going to put on the bottom of your statue? Well, I don't want a statue. Then you're not building your team big enough. You're not building your dream big enough. You're not investing big enough in your community, in your society. If people are not going to want to build a statue to you, doesn't mean they have to. But if they're not talking about you, have you really made the impact you're needing to make? Think about that. That now all of a sudden, now we're starting to talk about ego. And if your ego's going, you don't need a statue, you need to kick that one to the curb. I'm not saying they got to build a statue, but if you're going to have the impact you're about to go have in the next year, isn't somebody going to want to introduce you to somebody? That's all a statue is the ability for somebody to want to bring somebody else into your community and point at something. You just still happen to be alive right now. How many of you quote Proverbs? Isn't that a statue? You go to the same place. You go to the same proverb. I like proverb, fill in the blank. I use the phrase, right? Only time Jesus got mad is when the fig tree didn't produce figs. Are you producing your figs? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. That's a statue that you go to it and you expect the same thing every time you get there. If I were to ask 3 of your closest friends right now, today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, if I were to ask them today, what's AJ's mission statement? What's his vision for the future? Would they know it? Would I get 3 different answers? Got to ask yourself that question. You have to learn that consistency is a good thing. And we live in a binary world. When I mean we live in a binary world, I'll see y'all where? How many of you just said at the next event? I triggered you. Can you trigger people to success? Is that part of your vision? A clear vision is more than a goal. It's a mental blueprint. Your brain, you, it's the mental blueprint your brain and actions align with. Right? So you can write this down. 3 things: your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. You can put a plus sign between them. Hopefully in 2025, we're putting a multiplying sign, right? Your thoughts, emotions, and actions equal stress. If your thoughts and your emotions are out of line with your actions, you have stress. When they're in alignment, you have 0 stress. So are your thoughts producing emotions that create actions that aren't in alignment? You wind up with stress. That's how stress arrives. No other way to stress arise. Thoughts, emotions, actions. It is your response to the world. And every time we reinforce or we do an action in alignment, how many of you have decided you're going to do a little bit of exercise, maybe a little bit of stretching? How many of you feel good that you did it 2 days in a row? One of the biggest compliments you can give yourself is consistency. And what day do you think you're going to get attacked? Big time. Right? What's the number that they talk about? We need this many days to form a habit. Typically it's 21 days, right? Yep. Do you realize it's 18 months? 18 months you're going to have to do something before it becomes into your body. On average. Some a little less, some a little more. So for the next year, you're going to be in a struggle. Are you okay to make 2025 your year of your beginning and deal with the scars and the wounds and the bruises? Because it's about to what's that? It's about to go down. But yet when you know that it's coming, it doesn't hurt. So watch this. Take a big breath, center yourself, calm your mind. Take a big breath, center yourself, calm your mind. I want you to imagine it's December 2027. Wait, what? I thought we were going for 2025. How many of your minds just went, wait, what? Go to December 2027. What's happened now? What happened in 26 because you hit your goals in 25? What's on the docket for 2027? It's December 2027. What amazing things did you get done in 2027? 2025 was a blast. You've expanded beyond that. 26, you had some corrections because there were some people who you thought were really part of your thing and they weren't. You had some new people come in who really turned out to be, your long lost soul of business, of life, of romance, whatever it is. But 2027 is this year that, man, to think To think 3 years ago, 2024, I can't imagine how I let myself stay there. How I got to 2024. Those thoughts and expressions and that beliefs, they don't even, I can't even find them anywhere in my body in 2027. Go to 2028. 2028, just 4 short years. What's changed? How old are you going to be in 2028? What goals have you absolutely blown by? Excited. You understand now how momentum, daily, consistent action and momentum, absolutely, they accumulate in volume and in speed. What's your body in 2028? What's your finances in 2028? Have you started the charity? Have you built any wells? Have you built homes for battered women? Have you built an orphanage for children? How many cars did you give away? How many homes did you build? What's the dream vacation that you took? What cruise ship did you rent out for your team? What hot air balloon regatta did you start? What tradition is now sought after by your community? Is it a retreat on land you own? Is it a destination? Is it a all-inclusive resort that you buy out the entire resort for your team to come to? Did you charter a jet or a plane to go pick up your family for a holiday retreat? Could be 4th of July, doesn't have to always be winter. Could have been 4th of July. Did you go someplace? Did you go tour the Smithsonian Institutes? What joy have you brought into the world? What stages do you stand on? How many countries have you spoken in 2028? How many local news shows do you do based upon how impactful you've become in the community? Where have you been asked to speak? How many books have you written? Who's in your life now that you needed? You may not know the name, but you know the energy and the frequency. Who no longer is an energy drain, an energy vampire in your life? What's the feeling you have when you wake up each morning, 2028? You have multiple houses? You have seasonal houses? Do you have places that you stay based upon your businesses? Are you building internationally? Where's the place you want to vacation most? You started that business in 2026. And now you get to go there, business, write it off. It's your dream location for vacation. In 2028, where did you host your mastermind? Your inner circle. How many people are in your inner circle? Your inner circle. Those energies you can count on. Those who do more for you than you ever thought possible. What are you known for? How do people introduce you in 2028, 2029? Feel that energy. Find the one thing that just excites you the most in this space and time. Find that thing, that energy that is just, man, that happens. That's like, wow. Your dream placed it into action. Go back and find it. Find that thing. What's that thing? What's that? And it could be the smallest of things, but boy, it brings the biggest of energies. I want you to find that. I want you to bring that, carry that, figure out a way to put it in your pocket, put it on a piece of jewelry that hangs around your neck, a pendant, a medallion, a coin, a bracelet. Put all of that energy into that thing you're wearing right now, the thing you have right now. I want you to bring it back with you to this moment. I want you to bring back the love it made you feel, the energy it made you feel, the pride it made you feel, the confidence, the sheer capacity of your greatness. I want you to bring all of that energy back with you right now into this place, into where you're sitting. Bring it into the room, bring it into the area, bring it into the vibration that's around you. And allow yourself this space. Allow yourself to be in that moment right now. And ask yourself, how does this make me feel? What emotion are you realizing right now with your goals achieved? They're done. This is gratitude. It is done. And what can you do with these emotions right now to start living right now, to do what it is you want right now? As you come back into this moment, slowly open your eyes and write down the emotions, write down the feeling. Scale of 1 to 100. How much faith and belief do you have in that feeling, in that goal, in that idea, in that desire? And your homework is to make sure you figure out how to get to 100. 100%. You believe that right now. If you got to step back and forth and go into it, if you've got to do visualization, do it. Take the time. see the current state and the new state. What's different about them? The 2028 version of you versus the today's version of you. What's different? What's grown? What's changed? Look for the details. Look for the sounds. Is this visualization in color? Is it far away? Is it close? What happens when you start to bring those two together? Which one's in front? Which vision winds up in front? If today's vision winds up in front, push it to the back. It's your vision. It's you control it. Push it to the back. Feel where the emotions are arising in you as you push today's vision back and you bring your future vision into the moment, into the present, into the right now, and become aware. Questions, comments? What'd you learn? What'd you feel? And you may want to write this phrase down as well. You've probably heard it. I'm getting better and better in every way and every day. And choose to allow yourself better every moment. I'm getting better every day in every way. I'm getting better every way and every day.
Hey, good morning, US.
Good morning,
Ooh,
Serbia.
wowza, man, this is there's improvement, but you did not lie when you said there's a lot of work to do here, man. There's definitely improvement. I got my little buddy.
Hmm?
There's definitely improvement. I'm not beating myself up about things no more. I take responsibility and accountability when I decide not to do. The lady's staring at me right now. She's staring through me. All right.
Okay,
Anyway,
good.
uh, being accountable when you decide not to do something, for me, that was a big one. And I decided to skip it yesterday. There is no excuse, absolutely none. But I'm
No,
not
there
going to
is. You
beat
got to be
myself.
careful. You listen. You got to be careful because what happens is the old story thing. See, I don't even get in trouble.
Oh, she got in trouble last night when I
Okay,
journaled it. I journaled it last night.
but you can't say it. Well, it's okay. It's just there's no excuse. There was an excuse, and that's
Well,
how we get. And that's how it gets hidden. There's no excuse for yesterday. Yes, there was. You can say I didn't want to do it, and I need to pay attention to the one that didn't want to do it because it wasn't me. Your
so there was an
words.
excuse. All right.
There's
So there
always
was
an
an
there's
excuse.
always there's always a story. We just want to and we go, listen, I my life is filled with excuses that I accept, and there's no excuses in it, and it's this conflict. I was just lazy yesterday, so I can become aware of that. No,
Yeah.
no harm, no foul. You didn't die.
Yeah.
You
That's
didn't
right.
lose a
That's
pint of
right.
blood. You didn't have a motorcycle accident. The
I
excuse,
wasted time
the excuse was I didn't have the discipline to do it, so I can get better.
and I did journal that. So I said in my journal, I uh I'm not gonna beat myself about it. I'm gonna be a grown up because kids have grown up indeed. And I'm gonna say I can do better. I know better, and I will do better. So for
And
me, that was
did you write down, and I love that?
I wrote down and I'm fascinated.
Write
That's
down
what I wrote
also,
down,
and I love that.
and I love that. All right, let me
Because
go ahead and put
in
that in.
when you love something, it doesn't matter how mad somebody gets or you get it mad at somebody when you say, you know what, I love you. The word love changes everything, and I love that, allowing yourself to step into that feeling, because now it needed recognition. The part of you that wanted to neglect that, avoid that, needed recognition, and to say there's no excuse. You don't even love me when I do bad things, so now I'm going to do more bad things.
I did put in a line that said, enemies can't pass by me that easy anymore. And this is really one of the immediate changes I realized with the DOS is that they can't run by me anymore that easily. They
Right.
still try to, but I catch them nowadays, so that's a really big improvement for me. And
Well,
I yet to
imagine you're the king in the arena, and they can run by you, and you go, "Oh, look, isn't that funny? I see you, but you're not even you can't even get to me now."
ain't that fascinating.
Isn't that fascinating?
But I do understand that. Okay, so this exercise you just did with us, this is true gratitude, correct? This is when as you think bigger. Yeah, think big. You said this to me last weekend, but I thought I was thinking. I'm just starting to think bigger, but apparently not, Johnny. Still got work to do. So
Well,
thank you.
isn't it fun how big we thought we were? We're big, so we're not as nervous. The bigger we think, what we thought was big isn't so big. It's the law of comparison. So which is bigger, this book or the chair you're sitting in?
Probably the chair.
And which is bigger, the chair or the building you're sitting in?
I'd say the building.
How can the chair be both big and small?
Building.
It's about
And
how we
also,
compare, it's about how we compare life.
2027 and 2028 were definitely scary.
And that's
There's
cool because you
definitely a big
imagine
difference.
27 is going to be a lot less scary than 30.
Oh yeah. I don't have the smallest of the small clues of that. And that's a
And so
clue,
what
I'd say, in
happens
itself.
is that if we think of 30 now, right, and 31 and 32 and 33, and we think of it now, we're no longer afraid of 26. We're like, I got to get this shit done. This has got to happen now. And you wind up doing it in half the time because you're not going to give away your future. Can you imagine if you said 10 years ago this is where you wanted to be? Some of you, this is a great place. Some of you, this isn't a great place. How did you wind up here? Well, the only way you wound up here is law of attraction. Sorry. The only way you wound up here is law of attraction. You asked for this. I didn't ask for this. Okay. It's time. It's time to go after what you truly want, not what the subconscious programming has programmed you to do to get here. It's changed. And maybe the lessons you've all gone through, not maybe, it's a matter of fact, are so that you can go teach people how to avoid that. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Who else would you learn? Would you like? And when you saw AJ get, I say distracted because the woman was staring right at him, she may not even seen him. But he was looking for a reason to be distracted. It happens that fast, ladies. When you get on this side, when you cross, and all of you are that far away, you're that far away from crossing over to seeing what I see, because I don't see anything different. I just see the delusion, and I hear it in your words. I listen. I gotta hear it because I'm using it for me. It's not like I have to take it for myself. This delusion. And this is step one of mental toughness, ending delusional thinking. And we got to pay attention to our words. Hey, Louise.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Outstanding.
That's awesome. Me too. Happy Boxing Day.
Ooh, Boxing Day.
And my aha, I was like, oh, up to this point, oh, I'm so glad I'm getting this battling limiting belief. And going through this, my huge limiting belief, the aha was, you stopped at December 2025, Louise. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just the beginning.
Yeah, how many of you felt a little uncomfortable at going 26? Wait a minute, I thought we were working on 25. We don't, this just proves we don't set goals, we set limits. Write it down. Everybody you're about to go talk to says, if I could just make 10 grand, if I could just do this, if I could just do that. They set limits. They don't set goals because you never reach a goal. Once you get to the mountaintop, you're like, oh crap, look at that over there. Let's go. And you blow right through the goal. You go up over the top. Yeah, did it, done it, got the t-shirt. Let's go. And you're constantly on the move for more. It's okay to have more. Most people are like, if I could just, and then what happens is when they get that, they're still broke. Go ahead, Louise.
Thank you. My shift is that the train, the rocket, this is the fuel. It won't stop. It doesn't stop. There's not 2025 is not a station. It's on the route. That I don't see the end. And it better and better.
Yep.
Doing better and better. I thank you for taking the lid off. Thank you for helping me take the lid off.
Well, you know, in the movies like Indiana Jones or anything, when they get to the sarcophagus and they slide it and they only slide it just a little bit and you hear the air exchange. Woo! We didn't take the lid off yet. We just slid your sarcophagus. Be very aware, because this is the thing that you've heard me say this, those of you who've been around. Oh my gosh, my eyes are open. You have just, what you're witnessing, all of you, what you're witnessing, I'm going to do my best to express it in a way that makes sense. You know that moment when you wake up from just this best, most amazing sleep, and you are aware that you're in bed and you're aware that the sounds are familiar. You haven't opened your eyes yet. That's where you're at. So this, oh, my lid is off. You haven't even cracked. You haven't even peeked your eyes open yet. Because what happens is we're in such a new dimension that we think, oh my gosh, I'm in such a new place. You haven't even opened your eyes yet. And if you become aware that you're at that place at that beginning, you now have space to grow. Because what happens if we say, well, I'm open and I'm aware and I'm awake, you think this is it. And therefore, if you're awake, there is no more. If you say, listen, I have just become fully aware that I'm awakening from my dream to step into the version of reality I've always dreamt for. Then as you start to open your eyes and move, you can say, oh my gosh, there's so much more. But we have a tendency to go from here to there, and there's no more room out here. If we stay here and are constantly in a waking state and an awareness state, we can express and expand ourselves into this capability and possibility that we become excited. But if we bump up against here, it's kind of like the flea. They put them in the jar, put the lid on. 3 days later, they never had to take the lid off. Here's the thing. Do you know the rest of that story? The fleas, they put them in and they could jump out of the jar and it's easy. And then they put the lid on and 3 days later, they take the lid off. They don't jump out of the jar because they hit their belief that the lid is always, you want to hear the scary part? Who knows the rest of it? When those fleas reproduce, guess how high the reproduced fleas jump? To the lid. The lid was never on their life, but because the way they were they were born with the limiting belief. Some of you were born with the limiting belief. Some of you adopted these limiting beliefs. And now Sean Murphy comes along and goes, you can break those and disappoint my family? I didn't say to disappoint your family. You said it. All I did was saying you have more potential.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sean.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank yourself.
And I love that.
And I love that. Morning, Luis. Did he just disappear?
Nah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, there you are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bunch of misfits. Do you still call us misfits, Sean? I don't remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
we
your
do.
head brain training misfit.
All right, right. It's been this is really interesting. I completely agree with AJ. This is way deeper than I expected. Like way deeper. I've been noticing. I don't know if it's happening to the rest of you, but we cannot let this incomplete because I for at least at me, for me at least, I saw that I've left like a few things incomplete while doing them, and then I've been having some interesting things happen after. Like I was just talking with Candy yesterday. Since I started this, Sean, I hadn't really fought with anybody, no discussions with anybody. In the past 2 weeks, I've had 4 confrontations. I'm like, what the fuck is happening, bro? Like,
So I'm
3,
gonna
4
suggest.
years,
I'm gonna
nothing?
suggest. Listen carefully. If every word has vibration, cut out the swearing.
Maybe that's one. Yeah.
No, not that. That's not. Maybe that's why. That's exactly why. If everything has a vibration, you're bringing that vibration. It's not an adjective. Just throwing that out. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. It's and it's part of what I'm realizing of this future version. While you were beginning this and talking to Alex, I noticed something in this. My mind is just so wired to get distracted. While you were speaking, my hands automatically they looked for this, like some little rocks I have here, and I just started fiddling with them. And I caught myself and I was like, why are you trying to distract your mind instead of just focusing on this subject that you're listening to right now, which I was also trying to take notes of. And at the same time, my other hand was like trying to go gadget with this thing. And surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, because this is part of it. I'm now like seeing these things and like I'm seeing myself while doing this. It's like I'm seeing my old habits, my old version. When it starts doing its thing, I'm like, bro, that's what you used to do. Why are you doing this now? Don't you get it that we're here now? And I'm having like these conscious moments, like, and to be honest with you, it's causing me a little bit of frustration with other people because it's like I'm here, like I already moved from that version. I'm already here because I'm like doing all of this exercise, jumping into the future, and it's starting to feel very real. And in my head, I'm like, damn, bro, people don't see it yet. And I know you mentioned it, but it's like it's been playing with me, this new version and this past version. Me just seeing, like what you said was very clear for me. Like just see the two versions coming together and like fronting each other. I've been working on this before we started the call. Now with the call, it's just gotten extremely aggravated. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get here real quick. I'm gonna be in your face actually. And I was doing the mirror exercise, and it felt like that. It was like, yeah, no, like I'm literally in your face. Like you don't get it. I'm here in front of you. I'm looking at you. And doing this 2025 and then the 2026 to the 2028, it was a shocker for a second, but at the same time, at least I didn't feel scared. It was like, damn, it took you way longer, bro, but you made it. I thought it was gonna be done by 2020. It took you till 2028, but look at you now. And it was more. It was like somewhere around the 26 to the 28. Well, Next year, I bought my first house. Then 26, I bought the second house. 27, I bought the third house. But then from 27 to 28, I said I could buy like 4 more houses this year. I don't gotta buy one house per year. And it felt like that. It felt like, yeah, I'm building my empire now. It feels good. I felt really calm. And you mentioned something that I heard, and that's for some reason I got a back pain, and I don't know if you were looking at the cameras. I just got out of the meditation because I felt like I was sleeping, and this morning I woke up with a back pain, but like at 4:30 for 5 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I got out and I heard like coquis. I heard the little bird chirping, and on this visualization, I saw that, but I was at my next property, which has backs, like it has woods on the back. So I just like in this visualization, I felt the same back pain as today. And that's when like my two realities really clashed. Because it was like I'm breathing the air in the mountains, but I got the back pain from today. And that like brought me here. And it felt intense. It felt really intense because it felt real. And I think that's part of like why I'm having these clashes of my old version and my old self and this new self. Because a lot of the things that have been happening, I hadn't been doing for a while now. Like I thought that I had already fixed, like the spontaneous uh, discussions with people, like like fighting, verbal fighting with people. And I had stopped that, and now that I'm like facing future, past, and present, it's like, I see what you're trying to do. Like I get that you don't want to change, but you gotta understand that I moved on already. I feel this is how I feel, and this is what I just got in my head. I feel like I broke up with a clingy girlfriend that doesn't want to let me go. It's like, no, please don't leave me. I need you. I'm gonna kill myself and you don't go. Please. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. It's not you. It's me. But
well,
that's like,
and that's true. What you just expressed is that's true. One of the things that I heard in your language is that you're still separated.
separating.
No, you're separated.
Separated. Okay.
And what I mean by that is you are the clingy girlfriend.
I am the clingy girlfriend.
And you are the one who's leaving. So you have to come to some kind of an arrangement. That
I just feel like a bitch now. So you're right.
because you're the same one. Because what'll happen is you'll always be these two identities. I'm looking in the mirror and I say I'm seeing you, and you're not saying I'm seeing me. You're saying I'm seeing you, the one that's not me.
Oh, wow. That's
They
amazing.
are both you. They are always you. And you have to come to an agreement with your energy that says, I am the clingy girlfriend, because there's people around you that see you as the clingy girlfriend.
Sean, you just know what just happened, Sean.
No, I do know what just happened. That's why I'm in this side of the screen.
I've been saying for a long time, like, Sean, like, I don't know what's up with my feminine energy. Like, it's just weird. Like, I don't connect with my feminine energy for some reason. It's like, I don't get it, because I feel intensely, but I don't got a really big problem with that. But I do have a problem with, I have had a problem with shifting this person who I currently am. And maybe my feminine energy resistance wasn't, well, now I know, because the laughter and the feelings that I got inside, they were like girly feelings. They were like, you found out. I don't want to leave you. I'm sorry. It literally felt like that. So like, this for me was just like, nah, bro, you're the girl. Like you're trying to understand why you can't feel that feminine energy, is that you are just like not wanting to shift. And this is why I say that it's my feminine energy, because what I feel in my future is this empowered, strong man. Like I know that my future self is way stronger, way empowered, like just overall a more masculine energy, more I can do it, I got it, I trust myself, than the self-doubt that I feel right now. Wow, Sean, that was so big. That was a mega bonus for me. Like, actually, mega bonus. Wow.
So now, again, this awareness is how old, including the last minute? It's 2 minutes old. And you are about to get attacked because you're a Puerto Rican machismo.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So be aware of that and just go, you have to notice. Imagine, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how I'll explain it in Luis language. Imagine the guy coming out the door. Imagine that you see him getting up from his chair before he ever gets to the door. You have to notice these things before they become confrontational. This energy you're about to experience is about to come at you in ways you never even thought possible.
Masculine energy.
And feminine. You're going to get attacked because you just had an awareness. It's
I
called
have been getting attacked.
Well, but you didn't know it based on why. Now you know why. And awareness is when you become aware of something, you activate the reticular activating system and you see more of it. So the attacks, you didn't know why the attacks were coming. You tried to associate them with something. Well, that's because they didn't want solar. It's because you're shifting your energy. Had nothing to do with had nothing to do with you coming on to sell them something.
That's what bothered me. I was like, bro, I'm chilling.
Yeah, but why does it bother you? That's the problem. It shouldn't bother you. You should be excited.
I'm excited.
That's the shift. Because if it bothers you, you're going to bring more of energy of bothering. I need you to bother me more. That's what you're asking the universe. Well, I don't want that. The universe doesn't hear the negative. It says, I want that. Your subconscious does, listen carefully, everybody. Your subconscious doesn't have the ability to reject anything. It accepts everything as true. I don't want that. Oh, so you want that? That's not what I said. That's what we heard. And you keep arguing with yourself going, I don't know why this keeps happening to me. How many of you have ever said that? I don't know why this keeps happening to me because you keep asking for it. I'm not asking for it. I'm saying I don't want it. The universe doesn't hear. It accepts everything as truth.
That was powerful. I can leave this call and I'll be happy.
That's
but
why
I'm not gonna leave it.
That's why you decided to be part of the mastermind. You can
Yes, sir.
hear things differently, don't you?
Yes, sir.
When you decide that you're going to go do something, you hear things differently.
I'm committed. It's gonna happen.
It can't happen if it hasn't already happened.
Exactly. It happened. 2028, baby.
And this is where awareness comes in. And when you decide to become present in the ever-present moment, Joe Dispenza calls it the ever-present generous, the ever-present generous moment. Sadhguru says, in this moment, choose joy or choose misery. You only have two options, but the choice is sometimes challenging. When you start to stay in the ever-present generous moment, when you realize life happens for us, not to us, when you choose misery over joy, it is amazing what flows into your life. Because if you're not aware of it, it's still going to flow and it's going to be a lot less of what you want. That's why I have the phrase, I help people have more of what they want and less of what they don't. The challenge is that more people wind up with more of what they don't. It's because they haven't made a decision to have more of what they want. Period. End of story. Full stop. Send the telegram. What do you want more of? You have to become consciously aware. Do the thing until you don't have to do the thing. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. We know all these phrases. When you decide you want more shows up. Just that simple. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
There were two questions. Oh, before I bring this up, I just want to thank everyone for the master classes this morning. This has been tremendous. Two questions that I've heard you ask before that hit differently today. Going back to the 4 things from Brian Tracy, but there were two questions after that. Does this get me closer to my goal? And does this make me feel better for now? So those two questions are going to be put on my giant Post-it notes and put everywhere. Put everywhere.
And you'll realize how you'll be shocked at how you got this far.
Yeah.
Because of how much limiting beliefs you had. And it'll almost bring it's brought me to tears before. How have I been this disobedient? How have I been this cruel to myself? And then, God forbid, you let the ripple go out.
To say that this has cracked me open this morning is very much an understatement. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Gauze and tape are on the way.
Yeah, I need some 4x4s. Exactly. Yeah.
And a lot of back tracing.
Oh, I'll take silver. I'll do silver instead. Thank
Colloidal
you.
silver. There you go.
Yeah.
I need it in gel form, spray form, and liquid form.
That's right. Have an amazing day, everyone.
Love it, love it, love it. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Hey, just one thing.
Yes, sir.
Just to check the messages we have on school so we can finalize that thing. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to do that right after this ends.
And I am very, 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 very curious to see if you know everything I learned from you so far over the last almost 5 years at this point, if those things have directly or indirectly brought me to where I am, and they definitely have. Some of the things I learned, some of the things I became aware of, some of the things I know, and I know that I know, and I know that I know that I know.
Right.
I am extremely curious to find out how this setup is going to take place and to see where it can actually get me to go. I'm very curious to find out, and I can't wait.
Change from how, because how is strategy.
Okay.
To the feeling that you'll arrive at. That takes away all of the confusion. Because the how can only be reproduced by the feeling. It's called law of attraction. So if you stay in the feeling, the hows reveal itself and you'll be like, I'll be dead. You won't believe what happened, which is good. I want more of those. I have more. I just have what I'm dealing with now is a text of you won't believe what just happened in my world. Pretty awesome. So it happens. So it's not about strategy. If you are asking how, convert it to feeling. How is this all going to come together? That's a poverty-based mindset, right? So I teach mental toughness. There's poverty-based, there's average, there's middle class, there's upper class, and there's excellent and outstanding. There's 5 levels of mindset. How is poverty? And you're not in a poverty state. What happens is you take this energy that you took from today, all this awareness, the woman staring at you, all of this stuff, and you go back and you default back through language into your poverty mindset. And you go, I wonder how this is all going to come together. That's not the question you want to ask. The question you want to ask is, when all this comes together, how do I choose to feel? And then strategy goes, oh, we better get our butt in gear. Because now you're looking for quantum jumps versus incremental painful steps. And I got to get out of my comfort zone. You were never in the comfort zone. Somebody told you to go live there. Now, when you step out, there is no pain leaving your comfort zone. There's an identity shift. Yet if you listen to Luis today, complain that there's that identity and I'm this identity and there's this confusion and there's this, that's where the pain is. When you think you're both versions of this and you're going back and forth and back, you're sick, you're not sick, you're sick, you're not sick. It's exhausting. You ever talk to somebody who gets colds all the time? They're exhausted. The question you have to ask yourself is, who do I become? What's the state I choose to be in when I stay in my best version of myself, getting better every moment, every way, and every day? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the secret. And what you have me for is to remind you is, are you getting better and better every way, every day? Well, I was until I thought about my old story. And I can hear you thinking about your old story without you saying a word. I can watch your faces. And if I jump down in the hole with you without showing you how to get out, without leaving the hole, saying, hey, listen, we're going. Come on, I'll be here. You'll hear me. The good news is that you'll always be able to hear my voice. It may take you some sprinting to catch up, but you know which direction to go. That's what you have to have confidence in. You're putting a tremendous amount of confidence in me to be able to follow that torch, to follow that voice. And I keep reminding you, it's your own echo you're listening to. And when you hear that, you go, oh, could have had a V8. I could have been doing this years ago. When you finally realize you're listening to your voice, I just know what your voice sounds like in that higher state. And I tell you, shh. So ask yourself, what's the feeling I choose to live in? That's for the next 30 years. You choose the state you want to be in, you got the next 30 years covered. Because happy doesn't have a limit. Wealthy doesn't have a limit. Joy does not have a limit. 50 houses is a limit. Having an empire, I have people who own real estate and they have 1,000 doors. 1,000 doors. They own multiple unit, like apartment houses and complexes. 1,000 doors. But the only reason the 1,000 doors is a measurement. They didn't want 1,000 doors. They want to take care of 1,000 families. And those that lose all their 1,000 doors, it's because they didn't want to take care of 1,000 families. They were stuck in strategy. I got to get more doors. And Jim Rohn said it best, never do a good deal with a bad person. And what I mean by that is, some of you are trying to negotiate your success with your old version. Don't do a good deal with a bad person. You're trying to negotiate your success with a version of you that doesn't want you to have success. That's all internal. Become aware. It's always feeling. How am I feeling? God, I'm sick of feeling. Okay, how's that working for you? That help?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I promise you, one of us will always have fun in our conversation.
Well, I wanted me to be me, for, at least from time to time. At least sometimes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous. Oh. Okay. I loves you bunches. I appreciate you. I hope you all have an amazing, fantastic, fun-filled day after Christmas. And I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling misfit, helping you have more of what you want, less of what you don't. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all. I know, Beamish, that means we're going to go outside and feed the sheep. And some queen of vision casting, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss Lee.
Boss Lee, and a little bit of Fifi.
Gurgly.
Gurgly.
We love you, little girl. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We will see you tomorrow morning. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Love you all.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
Have a